Welcome to the Surveyor's Library. This is one of my favorite topics because, as you can see, I love having a surveyor's library. I've spent years collecting some of the oldest and most rare surveying books in the country, got a ton of great resources. Whenever I have a client call and ask a tough question, I'm pretty darn confident that if I don't know the answer, that I can figure it out. And that's the entire purpose of the Surveyor's Library, right? To have ready access to some primary sources, some secondary sources, and if you don't know the answer, you can find out pretty quickly. Now, the internet has really changed the game because we have Google Scholar, Google Books, you can download e-copies of books. All that is a fantastic resource. And I encourage you to really use that to your advantage. But at the same time, there's no substitute for a great hard copy book. So whether you're beginning your career, whether you're in the middle of it, whether you're a seasoned PLS, you've got to have a surveyor's library. And it doesn't have to be a huge library like I've got here. You could just have, 5 or 6 primary important textbooks that could serve you for a lot of your difficult answers. So let's talk more about what I recommend as a surveyor's library. First of all, we've got the general text. You've got elementary surveying, construction surveying, Adjustment Computations by Galani, fantastic books. I have here a first edition of the Elements of Surveying. This guy was written in 1930 by Davis, Foote, and Rayner. And it's a great book. It's got a lot of really good resources, some good illustrations, and just a huge topics, traversing, leveling, geodetic computations. Very, very powerful text. And if you've seen Chuck Galani's elementary surveying today, you'll also know that it will serve many purposes. You've got construction elements, you've got adjustment, error, computation elements in there. So if you could just buy one general surveying book, I would buy elementary surveying. It's expensive. It's like $150 plus right now. But if you buy an edition that's 1 or 2 previous, $10, $20 on Amazon, great purchase. Second, legal aspects. Legal aspects of surveying. I hate it's called legal aspects because I feel like Brown's, Evidence and Procedure, Clark, it's not about the legal part of surveying. It's about the boundary retracement. It's about the surveyor's duty. It's all about surveying. So Brown's is probably my top pick for this category because it has a lot of stuff: ethics, surveyor responsibility, boundary retracement, evidence, good stuff. Great selection for the legal aspects portion of your library. Clark on Surveying is really more of a graduate level textbook or a textbook for attorneys. It has more in-depth information, so if you've got a few $100, buy it for sure. And then Evidence and Procedure was written as like a co-book for Brown's. And Evidence and Procedure is all about the evidence and the procedure for boundary retracement. Another fantastic book. Third category, we've got Black's Law Dictionary, Definitions of Surveying, Geodetic Glossary. These are about dictionaries. And, I love NSPS because they made this. This is ACSM dictionary years ago. And I'm so glad that land surveyors have their own dictionary. That being said, it's got some deficiencies. It's older. It's not as comprehensive as it probably should be. I give this to my test prep students because it's a great book, but I think you could do better. So if you're a professional surveyor, the first dictionary I would buy is Black's. Black's Law Dictionary is a standard and has been a standard since basically forever. And Black's Law Dictionary has an incredible amount of legal, property, surveying, engineering, and guess what? Black's Law Dictionary, you can buy a previous edition for almost nothing. So if you have a selection with Black's, I would choose the past couple of editions. But if you have to choose one dictionary, Black's Law Dictionary is definitely it. But, so far in this video, we talked about legal, general, dictionaries. But what about the primary sources that govern your practice? State statutes, state administrative code, and other laws. These are the primary sources that you will be judged on if you go to court, if your boundary survey is disputed by a neighbor, if you are reported to the board for possible unethical violations. It's not about the books now. It's about the primary resources. So I encourage you to download and read your state statute. In Florida, it's FS 472. I encourage you to download and read very carefully the administrative code, which is sometimes part of the minimum standards of practice. And finally, there could be other topics like property, deeds, surveyor trespass. Set yourself up alerts online so whenever this stuff changes, you will be able to be notified because you are expected to be up to date on all the laws and regulations. Now, when it comes to exam time, NLC Prep has an incredible amount of resources. Videos, workbooks, quizzes, handouts, all that good stuff that you need to get licensed. But sometimes you need more depth. Sometimes you want to know more, more. Go to your books. If we have a topic on errors and adjustments, pull up Galani. Got a topic on legal aspects, pull up Brown's. Don't be afraid to build, use, and study with your own library. Fantastic resources. And last but not least, I've seen a lot of students lately not understand that NCEES publishes resources in terms of a reference handbook and also exam specifications so that you know what to expect. So if you're studying for your FS exam, PS exam, whatever, pull up your exam resources and your reference handbook from my NCEES, and that's a great starting point for preparing for any exam. So, best of luck getting your library together. Have fun, enjoy it. If you get bored, pull up a chair and read a chapter, and that way you're ahead of the game and you've got a library you can rely on.